From Brooklyn, New York, we have the MC Supreme Lyricist Honey Dinero and producer extraordinaire Murda Megz that have combined forces to release a project under the name HDXMM Luxe Act 1. We're going to bring them in to talk about this new project, plus their own discographies and careers, and what they've got coming next. Let's bring them in. It's an honor to have you both on. What a tremendous duo you are. It's truly a spectacular project. Honey Dinero, your voice and presence on the mic is spectacular. It's that of a true MC.
Thank you.
And then Meg's on the beat. I mean, I've heard you on production on a lot of different things, specifically with the Bad Seed. A lot of production work you've done. But man, you got bangers for days. I mean, what amazing production you brought to this project, HDXMM Luxe Act 1. Wherever you would want to start in talking to us about, this project, how it came together, and what's coming next.
Well, initially, in 23, we put out our first collaborative project as a group. And what we wanted to do was, I was going through a series of health issues and didn't really give it my full. So kind of did it a disservice, and I owe Meg so much because she did a phenomenal job. When we worked on the first project, she sent me a folder, 8 joints, all 8 joints were fire. And so what I wanted to do was remaster it, re-release it. But life is life and things happen. And so Act 1 were initially going to be bonus tracks to the original project. So what we did was, just with some schedule conflict and things like that, we shot it out as a part 1 to a series of 2, so a 1 of 2, but also bringing, like, some of the skits are the radio skits are actual songs from the initial HDXMM project, so that people would get the correlation. Like, we've been working, we have a project already out, but we're still working. So we released Act 1. Act 2 is done, just has to be mixed and mastered.
Wow.
And then we're gonna put that out along with it, and then just probably do like a grand deluxe HDXMM.
Oh, that's dope. That's why, like, on the radio skits you can hear like Big Girl Talk, and you can hear different other prior work in the radio skits.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And Megs, the production and the soundscape, when you went about putting together the production for your collaboration with Honey Dinero as HDXMM, do you go about that as a producer in a different way than you do, for instance, when you send beat packs to another MC? Do you have like an idea, a feeling that is this duo?
Whenever I make my, especially for Honey, I just came as myself, just send her whatever that she can, because I know she was she asked for like something that's hardcore, something that's, I just find whatever I can find, put it together, and then send it to her to see what she could get out of it. So yeah, whatever I did, I just came, with what I got. And I'm glad that she, just sent it back. I said, wait, what? Everything is done? This is it? You want me to sing you more? She said, no, this is it. I was like, okay, cool, all right. So yeah, we just, I just, like I said, pieced it together and just sent it to her. I just came however I came. Yeah.
That's dope. And your production is so powerful. It's like the beats knock, they bang. What do you produce on?
The Machine MK3, of course, Native Instruments Machine MK3 is what I produce. I mean, I produce on many other things, but that is what I currently use, for all my beats and, to send out the products and stuff like that. And right along with FL Studio, that's to finish and finalize, all my beats and, just to get it sent out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're an incredible producer. You really are. Incredible beats. And honey, what's your writing what's your creative process like? So Murder Meg's style. You guys are six-man entertainment. You've worked together before. You know each other. She sends you the beats. What's it like in the lab when Honey Dinero gets the beat pack and starts to put together these songs?
Um, it's usually by myself, close off the world. Um, I dive into the sound. I already know that Megs is gonna come with um what I prefer, what I like. I know that it's not a long thought process. Usually, um, one time, and I already know how I want to come on the track. Pause, but I already know how I want to, relate a song. So, um, a lot of times, writing will come very easy, and if it makes sense, then there's no need to go back to the drawing board. Lay it, may add a little nuances to it. Shout out to the bad seed. He calls me Dr. Drea because I creatively, I know what else is needed for it to be a bigger record than just production and raps, right? So, and then I shoot to Megs, what do you think? She's good with it, then we get it mixed and mastered and we just go with it. So, I might have a glass of wine, I might smoke me a little something, or I just make sure I have some food and some green tea and I just go for it.
That's dope.
Simple.
And you mentioned, and it comes out in your lyrics that you were struggling with some health issues, and God bless you on that. I know it's been a journey
Thank
for
you.
you, and you've put a lot of that into your music.
Hmm.
As an MC, as a writer, as a lyricist, do you feel that your songs, what you're talking about in these bars that you're giving us, is there a difference now? Is there another perspective on life that you're giving the world now after what you've gone through?
There is. I try to be conscious of not being so preachy. Um, you know, um, for me, cancer, I'm not gonna say it was easy,
Yeah,
but I just did what I needed to do to live, right? So to survive. But still, um, I use that with what is my sound, my hardcore sound,
yeah,
and I will still bust your ass, but but now so more I may just be more conscious about approaching that. So what I learned just even going through treatment is that if it's not good for me, just walk away from it. So even now, if it's not good for me, I'm just gonna walk away from it because I can't go back to what I was before, right? Quick to bust your ass, right? So now it's just like you got it. It's cool. And this is something I practice in my life now. You got it, it's cool. You the baddest, you the whatever, right? And so I put that in my music because now it really is about living. It really is about just being more chill. I'm older. I'm just gonna chill, but don't cross that line,
yeah,
right? So I think people want to hear more authenticity from an artist. So I don't I don't eliminate that
yeah,
part because that's still part of the struggle. We know cancer is it's so like we know somebody who's had cancer.
yeah,
It's so many people, and so to hear it, people resonate with it. If it's not them directly, then it is a family member or a friend, and you know I find that people want to hear about it, but I also find that people don't want to be preached about it either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, do your best, fight, because that's just life. That's the world we live in now, where it's a constant fight. We're paying $15 for eggs. That's a fight. That's a struggle.
Yeah.
No more. No, we're not egging people anymore, right?
Yeah.
We're not throwing
Nah.
eggs at Halloween. So, we tend to be more conscious about the things that we do, how we act, how we treat people, and we I come across that in my
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. And it's a success story. I mean, what you've experienced, and a lot of people, as you mentioned, either have know somebody that has gone through it or have gone through it themselves. So you never know how your lyrics are impacting people that are in the struggle right now. So it's a really dope thing that you've been vulnerable and opened up your real life experience to people through your songs. So it's really,
Yeah,
really, really
you
dope.
still
Six
have
Man,
to you still have to live. You
yeah,
you can't let the disease or just struggle period just overcome you and take you. You still have to live. And as long as you're living, each moment counts, each day counts. You just make the best of it.
yeah, yeah. Six Man Entertainment is known for visuals. Uh, there's a lot of work that's happened in Six Man Entertainment in regards to visuals. Are there any visuals that you guys are working on for this specific project before Act Two drops?
Um no. No, uh, it's a thought. We already dropped Soul Assassins. What we did was, as a single, we combined Soul Assassins and Murderous Row, and so we dropped a visual for that. For the original HDXMM, since 420 is coming up, we have a song called Elevated off the original album. That's currently the visual's been shot. It's being edited, so it'll be ready for 420. It's
How
appropriate.
perfect.
It's appropriate for 420. But I've been thinking, Megs will be here soon, so I've been thinking about maybe doing, maybe New York One or something like that. Something, 4 Act 1, and probably, while she's here, try to get something off of Act 2 done, so that we have that to follow up with. But we'll have plenty more records coming. So
That's dope. And just to be clear, HDXMM just came out to the public. I think it was March 26th. So it's still got that new car smell. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
it's still fresh. But we're already talking about Act Two. You've got people. You've got the buzz going. Is there a date for Act Two? What's the thought process with the rollout of that project?
I don't have a date yet. Like I said, it's ready. I know Seed has a project coming, so probably right after he drops his project, probably will drop that. Um, you know, um, but it's more, whereas Act 1 was, like I said, it was the bonus cuts for
Which
HDXMM. Act
is
two,
crazy because Soul Assassins, New York One. How are those bonus cuts? That's like anybody else's like hit song.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, initially that's what it was, and so I just made sure to craft it so that you would get volume. Although there's 5 records, 3 interludes, you would still get some volume to that, to this particular act. Whereas Act 2, you have the volume without them just being bonus cuts. So it's a chronological story, for Act 2.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a bit more? The way they go together.
So I have Act 2 is, the records for Act 2 fall in line, right? But not necessarily to put Act 1 and Act 2 together. Um, what I'll probably do is once everything has been mixed and mastered and we do a deluxe, we're gonna do a deluxe package. It'll all I'll make sure that it all makes sense. So like an opera or like a hip hop opera type thing, motion picture music, I'm big on that. It'll all make sense once
Yeah,
all the records are done, and then we package it up as a deluxe because we have merch we want to put out, um some other things to go along with it, where it would make sense that if you if we put it on vinyl, DJs will have a lot of records to just play with and cut up and scratch, and then people they'll have their favorites, but then there'll be new discovered records as well. So
that's dope. Will the
mhm.
first project be a part of this
Yes,
deluxe?
yes,
Got it. So it's the
yes,
first project, Act One, Act Two, all organized in a way where it's one super deluxe project.
yes. That is the plan. Because this is the first time you're we're guessing this is the first time you have a female producer and a female MC um on a project. Um, so which is
Well,
a big thing.
and I thought so too. Like I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to come out and make the statement and then be
Mhm.
wrong, right? Be like, nah, But as far as you know, is that the case also?
Yeah, I mean, on one project, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, not that we don't have other female producers, but just one female MC, one female producer. I believe so,
This is
absolutely. Yeah,
history.
we're we're a female gang star, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why you've got that one album cover with the Gang Starr, like paying homage to the Gang Starr symbol.
Absolutely. We love Primo. Primo is an Aries like I am. And gotten great feedback from him, and it just makes sense. I was fortunate to have met Guru and hung out with Guru before he passed, and he was a great soul. So it makes sense. Megz is
Yeah,
a phenomenal producer, boom
truly,
bap. She's just incredible. So it makes sense.
truly, truly. Murder Megs, to get some input from you on this historic moment that we're talking about in your collaboration, where it's the first female MC and female producer, you know, complete project. Can you share with us some of your feelings about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I already knew it was gonna come to this. Yeah, as soon as I did this, of course, I was placed on Seed's project, in I would say late 2020, going into 2021, and Bake Sale was one of the first track. Well, of course, that was two out of the one. Well, one out of two. I'm sorry. Um, she was featured on that one. I said, you know what? Something I already knew that this was gonna come to it, and I always wanted to do something with the female, artist MC, and I already knew
Yeah,
it.
we
But
have
the
a
whole
track.
thing, it's the whole thing it's just dope. I'm glad to work, with Honey Dinero, and I'm glad we finally put this together.
Uh,
I love it.
Absolutely. It made sense when we did Titan. I think Titan was our first track together,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it was like the record was perfect. It was powerful. It made a statement before I could even say anything on it. The beat, it made a statement, and then the way it spoke to me, and then the way I conveyed on it. It that's what set it up for this moment now. So
Yeah, yeah. What a what a special moment in hip hop, truly, to have both of you come together. But in all honesty, you're you're both incredible at what you do. Murder Megs,
thank
your
you.
production is truly special. I
Thank
mean,
you.
it's the fact that you're a female producer is just it's a detail, really. You're a dope producer, incredible production. You know, I first came across your production listening to a lot of Bad Seeds music, and you know, when I found out that you were a female producer, I was like, oh, that's dope, right? There's not a lot of female producers in the game at your caliber. You're up there with anybody. It doesn't matter who. You know what I'm saying? It's regardless of gender. And Honey Dinero, you're incredibly dope. Your
Thank you.
voice, your presence, your lyrics, your flow, all of it. A complete MC holding it down and with a tremendous career, an impressive discography before this moment in hip hop history. So
Thank
for
you.
all to come together at this moment in time, it feels really special. I see here in the comments that Act One was dropped on your birthday.
Yeah. My birthday was this past March 26th, so just past 2 weeks ago. So yeah.
Well, happy belated birthday, and
Thank
what
you.
an incredible way to celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really really dope. Now, you know, we've got Act Two coming, you know, probably in the summer, right? It's gonna be like a summer album. Um,
Not really.
okay, tell her.
Not really. Pre-summer.
Okay,
I mean, it's coming. It's coming right away. I mean, if I could get it mixed tomorrow, I'm gonna drop it right after. You know.
okay,
But just respect the Bad Seed. I don't wanna mess up what he has going on with his album. But yeah, I mean, I have another album already ready to go for the summer with Team Demo.
all
I
right.
have something else special.
Nothing but heavyweights.
Yeah. I have something special, and then I have heavyweight features on that as well. And then I'm working on something special just for. I have a group of fans that wherever I am, whatever I drop, they're right there in support. So I have something special that I've been crafting for them. But act act two, I'm trying to drop that as soon as the engineer is like done.
Got it,
Yeah,
got it. That's dope.
yeah.
That's really, really dope. And so you shared that you've got another project after Act Two with Team Demo, and
hmm
then another project that you're working on after that. I know that you're incredibly prolific, and this is one of the things that's so impressive about you and Murder Megs. Murder Megs, you're incredibly prolific too. Do you, you know, after Act Two, are there other things you've got kind of like in the clip ready to go?
Yes. After Act Two, of course, even if this is kind of off topic, me and of course Lifelong, we got LLMM Soundscapes coming out, or Scout Soundscapes that's coming out right after that, and and some other within 6 Man, we also I don't want to say too much because it's not in the makings right now until it's fully until the single gets done or it's fully confirmed. So yeah, yep.
There's work.
So yeah, just that one project that's ready to go.
That's really dope. To, you know, to talk about the broader group, Six Man Entertainment, there's a lot of movement happening right now with Six Man Entertainment, right? There's obviously your project that we're talking about. Uh, Bad Seed is incredibly prolific. I'm hearing a lot about, you know, the different projects and artists. Talk to us about how you all came together.
Shout out to Katona P. Shout out to XL, Shay Cobain. I mean, just shout out Mo Ruckus, LR Blitzkrieg. Um, if I forget you, don't chalk it to my heart, just chalk it to my memory. But we, these are people that Seed held or hold in high regard. And when he wanted to expand on Six Man and just share his shout out to Van Guns and wanted to share his label, he was like, these are the people I hold in high regard. I think this team would work. Um and it's been a great family. Like, we all get along. Sometimes we'll need to just chop it up and tell jokes. Um but we get right down to business. So there's a team of producers, there's a team of MCs. We have XO Joe, she is the real deal. Um, you know, and it just works. Like it's a big you know, well, I don't want to say a big family. It's a small family, but it works.
Yeah.
Um, we get the work out, we support one another, we push for one another. Um, I know like Excel has a battle coming up in Brooklyn, so you know we're gonna come together for that. Um, I missed the show with 38 Special, but they got together for that for Seed. And so we just, you know, we show out for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, our six functional family. That's right, XO. We are a six functional family. We are.
That's dope. That's
Mm-hmm.
dope. And Murda Megz, how did you come into the fold?
How did I come into the fold? Of course, I hit Bad Seed up and just got a placement with him, and off of his first not his first album, but it's just the first album of the year, you know, just to get the year going. Self-titled album because of course his name, and I got those two placements, like I said, Bake Sale and Uber. And I just got in. He gave me another shot and got me into his other album, Get Home Safe, and that was on from there. You just started giving me more placements and more placements. I just joined the game just like that. You know, shout out to him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
That's so dope. That's so dope. And
Yep.
how did the moment happen when you both met?
Um, Titan, Bake Sale, of course, Titans, and right after my mom passed away in 2022, we all finally met in person. You know,
Right.
for a doctor
Right, because there's
at
so much that
yeah,
happens like over this, you know,
yeah,
social media, even
mm-hmm.
phone calls, right? That in-person meetings always kind of like,
yeah, yep,
special.
But it
yeah.
was
Finally, we
crazy
got
because it was like we already knew each other. You know, Seed and I had worked together with my Retribution album, his Seizure Borgia album, and then he was like, "Yo, I got this dope producer, Megs." And then when we all came together, when I got back to New York, Seed got back to upstate, and then we Megs came down for the show in 2022. It was just like, what's up, sis? You know, or what's up, bro? And it was never awkward. Like we had we did a family build since then,
Yeah.
since 2021, 20. So it's been love ever since. And then even with the other guys, um, with Joe's, you know, her bubbly attitude, her get right down to business, her taking care of everything that we need, and then you know, the other artists and producers, like I said, we get together, we meet, and it's like we've known each other for years, and you know, with respect, and you know, we don't really bump heads. We might say our piece that might not be favorable at times, but it's with respect, it's with love, and we just, you know, we move on, and we put out some of the dopest music.
Yeah. Yeah. So that moment when y'all met, when you finally met in person, what did it feel like? Was it like, what up? Like what was that moment like?
I was super excited. Like we have a video. I'm like, yo, it's Murda Megz, and I'm pointing at her like this. It was just it was everything.
And at
It
that
was
moment,
everything.
had HDXMM already been born?
No, I think we, I think, I think, right after that, I was like, Megs, I need a pack, and she sent a pack, and all 8 records were a go.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's incredible. Murder Megz, I wanted to ask, you've got so many bangers, right? Like, what is your, Honey Dinero shared with us her creative process of, how she'll get a pack and then sit down create that environment and then get the writing. What's it like for you as a producer? What is your creative process like? How do you make all these bangers? Because it's not one. It's not like like a pack of beats with one good one. It's like everything I hear from Murder Megs knocks, and it's a big sound, big, triumphant, powerful. You gonna remember me? I'm gonna break your neck type beats. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not messing around on any of the beats. The sounds are, So how do what? Share some gems with us. Like how you coming up with all these bangers?
Um, it's whenever I have the time to, and when it's always go time. Whenever I make my beats, it's always go time, and I gotta go hard, you know. Especially when it comes to boom bap beats and stuff like that. I was born to do this. Thanks to shout out to my dad. Thanks to my dad, and yeah, it's always go time for me. And the whole process of HDMM, that one track Gold Leaf. I'm pretty sure you know the track Gold Leaf. I made that. It's like I said, as soon as my mom passed, I came straight home and I just started going back, get back into the beats. I couldn't stop from there, and I just, kept working. I couldn't even get my mind off of it, because of that whole thing with my mom. So, and I just, sit to the pack. But when it comes to making beats overall, it's always good. It's always a go. It's always a go. So, either I'll, mess with a couple of records in my collection, or I'll do like sample packs, easy access, um, or mess with a couple of CDs here and there, and I'll start to transfer, and then that's it. I'll go ahead and start to chop up, and it's a go.
Yeah. You
Yep,
mentioned
whatever I can get my hands on.
you mentioned your dad having being a part of it. Can you share that with us, that background?
Oh yeah, yeah. My dad's from the Bronx. Yeah, I'm from Harlem. My sister's from well, of course, Washington Heights, up all the way uptown from Harlem, and my mom, she's from here in PA. That's where I'm resting my head at. And yeah, it's just he's been around that. The whole thing, going to the parks, living in River Park Towers over there, and moving to Queens, and there was a situation he had to move back to the Bronx, and he met my mother in Jersey. They rested in Jersey, and then of course the last destination before we moved to PA was just Harlem. That was it. And yeah, so he's been around. He's been a DJ for many years, and I lived next door to a DJ, so it was just two DJs playing at one time, trying to outdo each other in this little tiny apartment. And he collected records, all kind of reggae, all kind of R&B. So it was just a whole bunch of crates. I just see crates of records. I said, okay, so what is the stuff that he got, going on here? All of these crates of records, and I started, I would say the crates of records that he collected are way better than the Barbie dolls that they bought for Christmas. So that's how, it's in my blood. It's in my blood, and I got to thank him for that, and I got to pay homage, for him for that. I love him dearly for that.
Absolutely. And DJs in the Bronx are different from DJs in other places. They started hip hop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the Mecca. That's like where it actually happened. And so between that and Harlem, I mean, that's you've been you've been around it your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's really, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. And that's great. So like, now we talked about this album that's currently available on Bandcamp. Is there, what's the digital strategy? Because different groups and different people are kind of going about, it was easier back when it was just CDs and stuff, right? Like you get your CDs, you go and but now in the streaming era, everybody was excited to like, how do you get it on? And then now that everybody can get it on, there's not a lot of money in streaming, so people have different strategies on how to approach music. What are the thoughts long term in regards to digital streaming platforms, Bandcamp, physical merchandise, and things like that?
Um, I will eventually put it on the streams. I I don't I don't want to say I don't do bad on the streams, but we're talking pennies over. If somebody wanted to pay $10, that's $10,
Yeah,
versus the pennies. But I find that streams make you discoverable to
Yeah.
those who may not know, or they may run across you like on Spotify. At the bottom it'll say also or appears on. So it makes you discoverable. So you don't want to leave that out.
Yeah.
That's important because, if we could reach everybody just through Instagram, everybody would have a bazillion followers and, it would be available. But I am strongly considering something more intimate, which I'm developing now, where you can get more than just the album over here or more than just a t-shirt over here.
Yeah.
One centralized place and, with exclusive perks, that these big machines won't have their hands in, and then gonna pinch off to us the artists what they would like.
Yeah.
So it's just about discovery and people knowing where
Yeah.
they can get product from from. But then also the consumer should also be like, hey, listen to this Honey Dinero Megz album. This is dope. This is dope work. And they give you a T-shirt or something on something to that degree,
Yeah.
to that sense. But we're being beat up by um by these DSPs.
Yeah.
Bad. Yeah, it's nice to have a surprise check each quarter to pay a light bill or to buy chopped cheese,
Yeah.
but
It's chopped cheese money.
but it's not enough for me to just be like, I mean, the kids in college, so here go a little bit of money, buy you some sneakers or something like that, but it's nothing that anyone can live off of. And
Yeah.
then they're making all the money. So it's just trying to figure out a way, one centralized place where where the consumer can get the maximum for their dollar, but then also we could sustain some type of living from it, some type of income. Because as much as we do this for the love, we also got lights and bills, and you got
Yeah.
to pay for plugins, and you got to pay to get it mixed and mastered, and you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, we still got to pay for these things, so we want to see some type of return.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. Thank you for sharing all of that. And you've got a tremendous catalog. Your catalog's into the double digits. How many projects do you have out? Do you know?
Ay, ay, ay. Double digits.
It's like
I don't.
17, 18, 20, something like
I,
that, right?
I've been putting out, well, and I don't think it's that many, but I've been well, I mean, a combination of singles and albums, yeah, maybe. I've just been putting out music. I love music. It's in my blood. It's always been in my household. It's always been in my grandmother's household, my uncle's household, my aunt's. So I do it because I love to do it. And any chance I get to put something out, I'm just gonna put it out. I've stopped counting. Whereas before, like when I got up to five, I'm like, yeah, I got five, but now it's just like, okay, something else, or I'm in the mood to write, I'm in the mood to record, I'm in the mood to put something out. And it's more frequent than not.
Yeah.
So it goes out. I mean, I'm not gonna hold on to it. I've been blessed to live, see another day. So I'm gonna put it out.
Yeah. That's dope. And Murda Megz, can you talk to us about your discography? You shared with us, some of the work that you had done with Bad Seed, and talk to us about, work that you did maybe before Six Man Entertainment, and just the totality of your discography as a producer.
My discography. Oh my goodness, I can't put my figure of how many. Oh my goodness, I know it's a lot. It's a lot for me. Let me see. From Us with Love, the Seizure Project, HDMM, Act One, HDMM. Whew. Every what is it? everything means nothing. I mean, it's a lot. I've built up a good discography. Within the first five, no, almost what this is the first 5 years since I've been down with 6 Man. It's crazy. This is I love it. I totally love it. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, I cannot put my finger on it because the more it's coming out. It's more that's coming out.
Yeah.
But overall, like I said, I love it. I love my work. I love my team. I love being part of 6 Man, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I'm grateful for all the opportunities and the discography that I'm building up. And yeah. Hopefully more to come.
Oh, absolutely. You can't make beats the way you do and not be basically in high demand all the time, for sure. Yeah, that's dope. Well, I really appreciate you guys sharing some kind of behind the scenes of HDMM Lux Act 1 and sharing with us that Act 2 is coming soon, very soon, right? Like as soon as it's mixed and ready to release, and then the broader vision of the more super deluxe, everything brought together into one cohesive kind of like hip hop opera.
Yeah.
What a big beautiful idea, and what a dope project that's going to be, because there's so many bangers, right? So I can't wait to hear all of that. As we start to wrap up, any shout outs to either of you want to give?
Shout out to my team. Shout out to there I saw Spoda was he had checked in. That's a brother. He's a phenomenal artist as well. Just I say shout out to everybody. I genuinely have love for a lot of people, and they know who they are. I try to show support to them. They show me support. Um, you know, shout out to you. Thank you for having us.
You.
As I went through your Instagram, I was like, oh, he gets busy.
I
So,
appreciate you.
you know,
Thank you.
shout out to you. Thank you for having us. It's always wonderful when again there's discovery
Yeah.
and and the work that you put out is appreciated and people get it.
Yeah.
And I love LA, so hopefully I'll be out there this year. I'll tap in with you. Um,
Absolutely.
but just shout out to you. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Murder Megs, any shout outs before we wrap up?
Absolutely. Shout out to friends, family, the whole 6 Man team, to you as well. Thank you for having us here. Hopefully we, like I said, fly over to LA sometime soon. Of course, oh my goodness, who else? It's a whole lot. But shout out to everybody. Spoda. I just, like you said, I just seen Spoda too. XO Joe, love you. Thank you for everything. Oh my goodness. And that's pretty much it. Everybody, shout out to everybody in the comment sections, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone there. She said happy birthday, so thank you. And they were really tapped in. I don't know if it's she or he, but they were really tapped in. So thank you. Everyone who tapped in.
That's
Appreciate it.
so dope. That's so dope. You guys are an incredible duo. It's an honor to have you both on the Cristopolis show, and it's an honor to have the first female producer and female MC, and at the caliber of which you are, project, here on the show talking about it. I'm really happy for you all. I'm really proud for you of the project you put together. It's a dope project. It
Thank you.
really is. The
Thank you.
production is of the highest caliber. The lyrics, the bars, the flow, the voice. Honey Dinero, the presence of the voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly, truly, you guys have a special combination. The female Gang Starr, right? It's something special. I can't wait to hear more in the future. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Salute.
Salute.